package, a late-night walk through Leominster, a fire in Melville in Shropshire. These are all clues to a murder, and indeed they're about the only clues detectives have to go on. Trevor Bradley was described as a very ordinary bloke. No one can understand his death, except of course his killers, or perhaps there's something that you can add to make sense of the crime.
All right, mate, how's it going, mate? All right, Jake. Yeah, not bad. Is it done yet? No,
we were fixing the roof on the old military bunker. We looked up, saw smoke rising from about a mile away.
What's that over there? There's probably some form of burning something or something.
We thought nothing of it because usually we see a lot of fires in the country anyway, and carried on doing what we were doing. We heard the revving of an engine. Both looked up, and a red Peugeot 405 came past the shed very fast. You hear a car like that, and you see a car that speed, you didn't take notice. Basically, he was driving very dangerously.
He's a bit worried, isn't he? Fruitcake.
I walked up to it just thinking it was joyriders, and saw it was still alight slightly and still smouldering. So I had a quick look and then went back home to phone the police.
Ben Sims thought he saw a body in the back, and by late afternoon a large investigating team had assembled in the field. The registration plates were missing, but detectives soon identified the car as registered in Ludlow. The owner, Trevor Bradley, had gone missing.
I wouldn't have said Trevor had enemies, not serious enemies, no. He wasn't that sort of bloke. Just a very ordinary chap.
I just can't understand what's going wrong. I can't understand.
For someone to do that, they must have hated him. And Trevor's not the bloke to inspire hate from anybody.
Trevor came from a remarkably large family. He had 21 brothers and sisters. He had problems with his legs and often limped. The charity Motability had given him a Vauxhall Nova. He sometimes bought and sold old jewellery and bric-a-brac, but he didn't have a proper job and wandered round second-hand stores, principally to pass the time and look through books.
Trevor was a chap that liked to read. He'd go to charity shops and pick up books, and often come down and swap books with me. He was a very sensitive, shy type of person, but he always put a little bit of an outward-seeming personality over the top of this. He was always cracking jokes, for instance, and one thing and another. But I'm sure underneath it all, he used to be quite sensitive, and he'd hurt quite easily.
He was very lonely.
Mm.
He just needed a lot of company. He needed the company. I know he did. The one in the army was tall.
It wouldn't hurt a fly.
He wouldn't.
At around midday on Tuesday the 26th of April, one of Trevor's neighbours noticed he had company.
I was putting some rubbish in my dustbin, and I looked up and I saw Trevor going up the pathway with a big package. And just by the gate there was a woman with a child. She had red hair, about 50, 60.
If that was you, please call us straight away. You might, unknown to you, hold the key to Trevor's disappearance later on that day. At around 2:30, Trevor was some 30 miles from home in Shrewsbury town centre. Did you see him here? A waitress remembers that he visited the Bear Steps Cafe.
He was a familiar face because he used to come in maybe once a week, twice. You get to know your regular customers.
Have we got some beef left?
Yes, we have. Would you like that in a sandwich?
Please, and a cup of coffee.
He didn't seem bothered about anything on that day, not any particularly different from any other day, really. He only stayed maybe 10, 15 minutes, and he paid and left, but I didn't see which way he went.
He almost certainly walked straight to the Parade, a local shopping precinct. Tapes there show him picked up by security cameras just after 3 o'clock. Did you see him in the Parade or recall him in the streets nearby? At 5:15, he was back near the Bear Steps. Since his death, it's been established that Trevor was bisexual. Did you meet him at the lavatories in Butcher Row?
It's 10 to 7, so it's time now to play a few games of Cash Bingo. You can start popping those 20 minutes.
Trevor was a bingo fan, and by early evening he was in Leominster, not far from his home. Did you see him in the top 10 club, or did he stay outside?
6 and 3, 63. 2 and 5, 25.
If so, was he waiting here to meet someone? Two people who'd been at the bingo are the last known to have noticed Trevor as they left at 10 p.m. and drove down Broad Street.
Isn't that Trevor Bradley over there? I thought he might want a lift, that he might have broken down. So we slowed the car down and he waved to us, acknowledged he'd seen us, and we thought he was all right.
What happened in the next 12 hours remains a mystery. Now, when Evans, since we finished doing that reconstruction, you've got a couple more witnesses, in fact, which place him a little further up Bridge Street, or just off Bridge Street.
Yes, just after 10 p.m. on Tuesday, the 26th of April, we've got two witnesses who put Trevor standing outside the public toilets just off Bridge Street. We'd be interested to know if anyone met him there, or in fact anyone who saw him after that time, particularly in his white Vauxhall Nova in the Melville area of Shropshire where his body was discovered.
Now, I take it we can assume that you will treat with the utmost discretion anybody who does come forward if they met him at the lavatories and had some sort of sexual liaison with him. They wouldn't want that made known in public.
Even if that person is gay, I would urge them to come forward, and any information they provide us with will be treated in the strictest confidence.
Now, you've no idea really on motive on this. It could be a gay liaison that went wrong, seems improbable. It could be sort of gay bashing. I know you've had one caller already, a month after the murder, the death, who said that this was some sort of deal he'd done that had gone wrong. Now, tell me about that call, because it's quite interesting.
Yes, exactly 1 month after Trevor's death, an anonymous call was received at the incident room from a person who actually named persons who were involved in causing Trevor's death. Unfortunately, we've been unable to act on that information. We need more information, and I would urge that caller to call us again.
What, for specific questions that you've got to put, or just general ones?
I feel he has more information he can provide, and I'm sure he'll have the answers.
And will want to give them?
I would hope so.
OK, now, just let's make it clear, there was a very strong appeal implicit in that film about that red car we saw at the beginning, the Peugeot 405. You don't know that that was connected with the death, of course.
No, but we need to trace the occupants of that vehicle to eliminate them from the inquiry.
That was the morning of Wednesday, the 27th of April.
That's right, and that very same morning we've got sightings of a dark blue Ford Sierra in the Melville area. That vehicle contained 3 males described as being of a rough appearance, and we also need to eliminate them from the investigation. OK, if you can help in any way, please do call 0500 600 600. It's a free call number, 0500 600 600. You can ask to speak to a BBC researcher if you prefer. But if you know something, suspect something, or saw something, do please call. Incidentally, there's a substantial reward, £5,000. The incident room at Shrewsbury Police Station is also waiting for your call, 0743 232 888. That's 0743, the code for Shrewsbury, 232 888.